All right, hello class. Our group is suing Netflix and our group consists of myself, Charlie, Marissa, Lindsay, Keys, Jem, and Mitchell. So the use of Netflix and streaming platforms themselves have grown tremendously in the past decade. These platforms provide customers with the most options in regards to TV shows and movies, new and old. Netflix is a very affordable option among all the different platforms and is one of the most affordable. Netflix chooses to focus on their small monthly subscription fee and no commercials and no advertisements. Netflix was founded in 1997 and became very popular within the past 10 years. Throughout this paper, we will discuss the various stages within the digital marketing plan for Netflix. We will first give a company overview and a SWOT analysis to give a more in-depth look into Netflix. Digital marketing objectives and the strategies they use will be explained thoroughly. The last section of the digital marketing plan we will discuss is the actual market research done by Netflix.
Moving on to the situation analysis and company overview. Netflix was founded in 1997, roughly 23 years ago, and wasn't the streaming giant we know it as today. Instead, they offered a subscription-based DVD rental service where subscribers would receive their movies via the mail. And then in 2007, Netflix finally introduced the streaming service, and that has since taken off as we know today. If you look at the map right there, you'll see the 190 different countries that Netflix is available in. In fact, it's available in every country except North Korea, China, Crimea, and Syria. And then worldwide, they have 193 million subscriptions. And then of those subscriptions, roughly 72.9 million come from the US and Canada alone. Another 61.4 million come from Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. And then 36 million come from Latin America. And then finally, the last region is the Asia Pacific region, and 22.49 million subscriptions come from there. And though those are pretty impressive numbers, you can't just shrug away the competition, obviously. Some of Netflix's biggest competitors include Disney Plus, which has roughly 60.5 million subscriptions. There's HBO Max with 4 million subscriptions. There's NBC Universal's Peacock, which currently has 15 million subscriptions. And then, of course, we have Apple and Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime has roughly 150 million subscriptions. And then Apple, their online store has roughly 800 million different accounts. So that's some of the competition for Netflix, for Netflix. And then moving on into more corporate identity, mission statement oriented things. Netflix doesn't have a specific mission statement exactly outlined. They don't say this is our mission statement, but if you look at their about page on their website, you'll find a statement that comes close to a mission statement, and it's they say we want to entertain the world, and that whatever your taste and no matter where you live, we give you access to the best in class TV shows, movies, and documentaries. They continue and they say that their members control what they want to watch when they want it, and there's no ads, and it's all in one simple subscription. And then they finish this mission statement or declaration or whatever you want to call it by saying that they're the world's biggest fans of entertainment, and they're always looking for ways to help you, the consumer, find your next favorite story. So yeah, that to me, from my research, appeared to be the closest thing to a mission statement or company objectives. Another large part of their corporate identity, and this can also be found on their About page, is Netflix's focus and their stance on culture and diversity and inclusion, other things along those lines. And that can be seen not only through the different movie categories that are available on the streaming service. There's movie categories like Women Who Rule the Screen and the Black Lives Matter collection. But this can also be seen through, if you go to their About page and go to the section on diversity and inclusion, Netflix has a whole series of YouTube videos essentially that focus on their stances and views on these things. And some of those YouTube videos they put out include stances on allyship and the spotlighting of African storytelling and storytellers, and representation and other things along those lines. So yeah, that's a situation analysis and company overview of Netflix.
Hi, I'm Marisa, and I'll be talking about the SWOT analysis for Netflix. So to start off, two of their strengths would be an increase in subscribers as well as innovation. So to begin, Netflix has 193 million subscribers on a global level. And since 2020, they have seen an increase of 26 additional new subscribers. And in the months of April to June, they have seen another 10 million increase in users. And this can be correlated to the pandemic and how individuals had a lot more free time than they once had, because they've had to spend time more inside and not go out and do their day-to-day typical activities that they would be doing if there wasn't a pandemic going on. Also, Netflix reaches 73% of all households as far as comparing their streaming to a cable network. So cable and Netflix together have the same amount of reach. And that is important to look at because a lot of families as well as individuals are straying away from the idea of cable because it is so expensive. So you can get a streaming service for like a fraction of that cost. All right, so moving into innovation, Netflix is always trying to upload new content for their streaming site. This means that they have to either release their own Netflix originals or come up with new network series or movies to provide. And with that, there's a licensing fee. So for example, the show Friends, Netflix has to pay $100 million to Warner Media in order to have that streaming on the Netflix site. Some other Netflix originals, which they spend 85% of their spending money on, would be any type of show like Stranger Things or 13 Reasons Why. To name another big one would be like season 3 of Ozark was released during quarantine, so that was really big. So was Tiger King. So these are just shows that people are very interested in viewing, and they're going to be in the top 10 on Netflix. All right, so moving forward into the weaknesses of the SWOT analysis. Netflix has a higher subscription cost in comparison to most streaming services. So I believe they're second as far as most expensive. And they've gone up about $2 in recent years across all of their subscription packages. So the basic one used to be $7.99 and now it is $8.99. And then the standard package went up $2 from $10.99 to $12.99. So that can kind of be a big factor whether or not someone wants to have Netflix as their streaming service or have Amazon Prime or Hulu as their primary streaming service. Also, Netflix pays a very large amount in licensing fees for certain shows, and that was also reflected in the strengths with the $100 million that they have to pay for Warner Media, but that is also a lot of people are going to be watching those shows. For example, Friends, many people got mad when Netflix announced that they were going to take that off, so they continue with that licensing fee, which I believe they will be ending it soon. So we'll have to get another show in order to replace that. All right, so going into opportunities, Netflix developed a shuffle option, and this shuffle option would allow viewers to click a button and Netflix would pick a movie or show based upon their interests. So this would eliminate the countless hours, even, or minutes of a user trying to figure out what they want to watch on Netflix. I know it can be very time consuming and eventually make you like not even want to continue watching Netflix. This is also being tested in a few countries in July. I know there are a few in Europe that were going through this. And another opportunity is the FIT framework. So the FIT framework is followed by quite a few different companies. And these are just guidelines that set up a perfect, well, close to perfect structure of what the company should be doing and how they should be, like the what ifs basically. And one positive that Netflix really strives in with this framework is the idea of contactless payments. And what if, let's say, like the pandemic happened and now Netflix is able to use their contactless form of payment and not have to adjust like many other businesses have to. All right, and then the last one is threats. So Netflix has a lot of different competitors, and two of their most recent competitors to the streaming service market is HBO Max and Quibi. And these are all very unique in their own ways. So Disney was just released not too long ago, sorry, Disney Plus, and that has quite a number of users on it for a very cheap cost. Also, Hulu just announced that they're streaming live sports, so they've been advertising a lot for that. And Amazon has seen a turnover rate of over 70% in their Prime memberships. So maybe a lot of people are deciding they want to go with Prime now and not continue with Netflix. And this could also have a negative influence again from the pandemic because individuals face a lot of uncertainty as well, based on whether or not they will continue working at their job or if they will continue being unemployed. As of current day, the unemployment rate is 7.9%, and in comparison to March, it was double that, I believe at like 14%. So that's when all those users had time to be watching content, and now users Netflix faces the unknown of whether or not people will leave their streaming service because of not being able to have enough funds and time. And that is all for the SWOT analysis.
In this section of our presentation, I'll be going over Netflix digital marketing objectives. Quick overview, Netflix looks to achieve top-of-mind brand awareness in multiple markets. They also look to expand upon competitive advantage through marketing. Some key elements are engaging and understanding their consumers, providing a personalized experience, using humor to solidify the brand image, and finally, content promotion. We'll start with engaging and understanding consumers. Correspondence through social media is crucial and a key element of Netflix digital marketing strategy. They use Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat on a daily basis to interact with consumers. Follower interaction examples include Twitter polls, retweets, Instagram reposts, Facebook shares, etc. Through this engagement, Netflix is able to collect low-cost market data and implement strategy based upon this data. An example seen on the right, where they used a Twitter poll regarding one of their original content series to gather feedback from their consumers. Next, we'll look at how Netflix is able to provide a personal experience through digital marketing. Starting with email, Netflix collects browser data collection, they're able to then create directed recommendations and formulate very specific emails to send to consumers with a simple call to action button, which tends to be very effective form of marketing. And then next, another way that they're able to provide a personal experience through digital marketing is social media again. They employ a social media team that is responsible for responding in the comments section as well as posting posts. Another example on the right there is where Netflix posts a tweet kind of asking for some feedback from consumers, and then they'll likely respond with comments, and you can see with the 2.3 thousand people are tweeting about this subject. Next, Netflix does a great job using humor in digital marketing. This is certainly a competitive advantage for them compared to examples like Hulu and Amazon Prime in their marketing. They really don't do a good job using humor. This use of humor leads to higher engagement and likelihood of viral marketing. Some examples are memes, TV commercials, and original content ads, like seen on the left. And another TV commercial that I found when I was doing research was in regard to their sharing of Netflix passwords. They're obviously aware that consumers are doing this, but they kind of poked fun at it in their TV commercial, and I'm sure that resonated well with consumers. And then lastly, content promotion. The content on Netflix is ever changing, and this can be a big deciding factor in the consumer purchase decision. It helps to maintain subscribers and builds buzz. Another example from the UK and Ireland Netflix Twitter account, and the US Twitter account does this as well. They'll just post a whole list, which is very easy to follow, of what's being added to Netflix so that it can hopefully spur interest. Now we'll move on to digital marketing and marketing strategy of Netflix. Another quick overview. Their business model is no contract, subscription based. So they're looking to lure customers and keep existing customers satisfied. Some key elements again are social media, digital segmentation, original content, and partnerships. Looking at social media, they're looking to promote their original content, interact with consumers, and gain marketing insight like we talked about in the last section. They have individual account pages for specific regions and as well as original series. They follow very casual guidelines. Some of their tweets are even considered inappropriate, but they do a great job of engaging with consumers and resonating well with them. They post about content currently found on the platform, which is a great way of promotion. On the left there, you'll see average engagement and the number of brand posts. Netflix is much higher than their competitors. Digital segmentation allows Netflix to reach a specific audience accurately. Different accounts for different geographic regions takes into account cultural differences in what their consumers are looking to watch in what region of the country. It's necessary for an international business like Netflix. And then below here, we just have a pretty simplistic business model for Netflix and how they use digital marketing and digital segmentation. And then lastly, their use of partnerships and original content in their digital marketing strategy. Currently, they have partnerships with Samsung and Snapchat. These are two large companies in the tech industry, digital industry. Their promotion with Samsung includes a free monthly subscription for those who purchase a given Samsung device. This is a great way to get new customers interested and hopefully keep them subscribed once they have their free month. The use of Snapchat's a little different. It's not so much promotion as it is a building buzz strategy. For example, on the right there, they have a filter, a Stranger Things filter, which is an original content series in Netflix. And then the use of their original content, there is no licensing or no copyright to worry about for them. So they have ability to promote that freely and through the use of memes and all over their social media account.
Digital marketing and market research. So Netflix's main goal is to satisfy customers and keep them subscribed to Netflix from month to month, since a customer has the power to cancel the subscription at any time, which would result in a loss for Netflix. So to keep the customer satisfied, Netflix needs to figure out what shows people are enjoying, to figure out if they want to keep it on the platform longer, or if there's an unsuccessful show that they could drop and bring in a new show that customers would like better. And then another way that they keep customers engaged in the platform is creating Netflix originals. These are TV shows or movies that can only be found on Netflix. So a problem that Netflix has found through market research is that Netflix is trying to satisfy so many different people that they have too much TV shows and movies on the platform, and it's very hard or overwhelming for many customers to find something new to watch. So to solve this, Netflix has created a shuffle button that will take a customer's profile, see what they have watched recently, what they're interested in, and recommend them a new TV show or a movie to watch, which is a lot better for the customer, keeps them satisfied. And then social media's role in market research. So a big platform that people like to talk about things on is Twitter, and Netflix can use this to their advantage. When they put out a new show, they can create a hashtag for the show and get people talking about it on Twitter. This gives Netflix instant feedback, lets them know if the customer likes the TV show or movie, maybe if they should renew this new TV show for another season, how long possibly they should keep it on the platform, if they should just immediately get rid of it because nobody enjoyed it. And this will allow Netflix to, if they were to get rid of a TV show, they can now bring in a new show that customers would like more.
All right, so to finish this up, we're going to talk about the target audience and segmentation strategy. Out of all the demographics that they pander to, which they pander to a lot as it is a streaming service, their main demographic is the age range of 20 to 49. This is the young audience, the young adult audience, getting to the middle-age audience. Two ways that they pander to this demographic is their Netflix originals, the content that they've been distributing through their own network and through their own studios, and the nature of the product service, being that it is a e-commerce streaming service, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Moving on. So in terms of the Netflix originals, the content is being made towards smaller demographics within this age range of 20 to 49. However, their main age range and their main demographic is this specific 20 to the age of 49. And these smaller demographics break down to ethnicity, sexual orientation, genre specific, if you're into horror, if you're into action, adventure, whatever. All of these demographics are being considered when they're making original content for the age range of 20 to 49. The younger audiences are more inclined to watch newer material rather than rewatch old material, which is why they've been creating these originals, is because it's new content that hasn't been displayed anywhere else, and newer audiences tend to like this more. And then due to the nature of the streaming service, as I said, many demographics are included naturally, but they don't have to market towards them. They're marketing mainly towards this age range, but making content naturally for these demographics as they pander to the age range. And then we'll talk about the nature of streaming service. Younger audiences have been proven to have a better experience with services provided electronically compared to older audiences. This was done by an analysis of Hill House that showed why younger audiences are better with technology and how older generations struggle with it, and it tends to decline their experience when they are experiencing e-commerce or going through the internet to provide a good or a service. And this can be credited to the age that each generation has adapted to the technology. Children's, teens, and young adults soak up information way easier and they adapt way easier. And these younger generations had technology adapted and provided to them at younger audiences. So they were able to adapt better than older, middle-aged, and older adults. And then Netflix realizes this, and so they pander to the younger audience because they know that they're going to have a better time with it. Older content is still provided by Netflix, but it's actually still watched more by younger audiences, which means, you know, this older content is still being taken in by a younger audience. And then real quick, I did want to mention that Netflix Kids is a separate channel that they use to market towards kids. However, it's not marketed in a way where they hope to get more revenue, as this is a free addition to their regular Netflix streaming service. It is just a different channel that they're able to channel different demographics. All the kids are able to go to this specific channel, so it's easier for them to move them apart. And this has marketing benefits, as they are able to market towards kids or towards the main age demographic based on what channel they're using. And there's content benefits, as they know specifically who they're marketing towards when they make this content for the kids channel or for the regular channel. So it's helpful there. And that's the rest of our presentation. Hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much.